Hi guys, it's Manon. Welcome back to today's video, 4 things you shouldn't do in Paris, and I'm going to give you some tips on what to do instead. So let's get started. So the first thing you shouldn't do in Paris is spend too much time in the area of metro if you can walk and are willing to walk and have enough time. Because the area and metro, it's really nice. I mean, it's neat because it's pretty much like a little spider web, so you can go pretty much everywhere and it's really fast. So it's nice if you don't have too much time or you can't walk or something like that. However, it's really loud, it's kind of stressful, there's a lot of people, it's not really enjoyable. And you miss out on so much because Paris has a lot of famous landscapes like the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, the Louvre. However, Paris is not just so the landscapes, it's also a lot of random little streets, random little buildings, or walking down the Seine. It's just really beautiful to just walk around the less touristy or less famous parts of Paris. I think it's how you will really enjoy the city. The little just downside or just know about it is that if you walk around random street, then you will also see the uglier parts of Paris, the unclean streets and stuff like that. But it's part of the city. No city is perfect, and I think it's part of it. But yeah, I will always recommend, if you can and have enough time, walk around. My second tip is that you shouldn't spend too much time in lines. I know Paris has a bunch of museums and landmarks and people want to visit them, but I wouldn't recommend to spend too much time in line. So maybe do 1 or 2 visits max a day, because otherwise you're just going to spend so much time waiting in lines instead of visiting Paris. If you only have a couple days, don't waste your time in lines. I mean, yeah, for example, your Eiffel Tower, you might want to go on top, but is it really worth it if you don't have that much time? Instead, I would just say, spend that time, instead of spending 2 hours trying to go up the Eiffel Tower, spend 2 hours, walk around the city, and then come in the evening and watch the Eiffel Tower light up and sit on the grass, and you don't have to pay for it, it's free, and you don't have to wait in line, so that's pretty nice. If you want to go to the Arc de Triomphe, yeah, it's pretty fun, you can go up, you can wait in line and go up and have a nice view on the city. But you just can also go under it and around it for free without a line. You spend less time and you still see the Arc de Triomphe. So all the things you have to wait in line for, yeah, usually they're worth it, but only if you have enough time to do other stuff first. Because otherwise, I will say wait, do it next time you go to Paris, or because it's not the best thing. The best thing to me is just to walk around the city, stuff for free, just walk around the city, walk along the Seine, go through random street, go to Montmartre and walk around. And it's just so nice because you will actually see more of the city actually walking around than waiting in lines for hours and hours. It's not enjoyable. So the third thing you shouldn't do in Paris, in my opinion, is to go to the Louvre just to see the Mona Lisa. Because I did that with one of my friends that came to visit, because of course it's a famous painting, you want to see it. We walked around the museum a little, we didn't just do the Mona Lisa, but we didn't really spend that much time in the Louvre because one, it wasn't even enjoyable, it was so busy, it was just warm and loud and I just didn't enjoy it, so we didn't spend a lot of time in it. And I think it's not worth it because the line you're going to wait for, you're going to wait sometimes 2, 3, 4 hours in line because it's one of the most famous museums in the world. So a bunch of people always year-round wants to visit it. You can spend so much time in line instead of taking those 3 hours and in line. You should just spend it like walk around Paris. It's just going to be a lot more enjoyable and fruitful. And the Mona Lisa itself, once you get there, you're going to be pretty disappointed. It's a small painting. There's always like a crowd of 20, 30 people in front of it taking selfies or pictures of the Mona Lisa. So you're not even really going to see it very nicely because there are hands everywhere, heads in front of it. And you can't really get close to it. I mean, if you want, you can fight, but everyone is trying to push each other. It's like it's crazy. And yeah, so is one picture of the Mona Lisa worth waiting for hours in line? I don't think so. That's my opinion. So the last thing you shouldn't do in Paris is to spend all your money on international food. Paris is very diverse, so there are pretty much all the kind of food you ever want to try. I mean, it's really diverse. There is a bunch of different restaurants from different cultures. But when you come to Paris, especially if it's one of the first time you come to France, I would recommend to try to spend your money and lunch and dinners and breakfast on French food, because I think it's part of visiting a new country or a new city, is to try the food that is native to that city or country, because it's part of visiting, it's part of the culture. So I think it's really important. Plus French food is amazing. I love French food. It's really good. So I think you should give it a try and try as much French food as you can. I mean, if you have a lot of time, yeah, try your international food if you want. We have a bunch of international food that is really good, but try the French food first. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I will see you in my next one. À plus!